So, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this week's Tuesday Talk with Dr. Danielle Farrel on Easter Tuesday, Tuesday the 6th of April, 2021. So, welcome, Danielle.
Hi.
Hiya. And this week you're going to talk to us about a number of different awareness days and about a new campaign as well, aren't you, Danielle?
Yeah. Some of which I've just come across quite recently, so I thought it would be good to share and make people aware of how they can support some of these.
Okay, that's good. And then at the end, you've also got an exciting announcement for everybody.
Yep, I have.
Okay, excellent. Right, well, I'm gonna exit stage left. I think it is probably.
Yeah.
And I'll be back in about half an hour, and we can share that news together.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, hi everyone. I hope you've all had a Easter and had some time to enjoy the sunny weather we've had rather than the snow that was predicted. Although we've had sun, it's been quite chilly, but at least it's been a bit nicer than what we've had previous. I don't know about yourselves, but I can't believe it's actually April already. But hopefully we're now at the beginning of the end of lockdown, so hopefully we can keep our fingers crossed that by the summer we might have another new normal to get used to, or maybe perhaps the old normal again, who knows. But as Keith said, I'm going to chat to you a bit today about some awareness days that I just thought were important to highlight, and then talk specifically around a new campaign that was brought to my attention quite recently that I thought you might be interested in hearing about. If Keith would kindly bring up some slides that I've prepared just to help me talk through it, that would be great. They come up. We tried this before. Here they come. So some of them you will have heard of, others you won't have heard of so much. So these are the title slide is just illustrating these, and they'll be the ones that you don't recognise will hopefully become more apparent as I talk through some of the information. So Keith, if you would move it to the next slide, that would be great. First of all, I just wanted to introduce the topics of the awareness campaigns that I've chosen for today. As I've already said, I just thought it was important to raise awareness of some of these causes, some of which you will know about. Some of you watching will probably know a lot more than me, to be honest. And that's great. So I'm not going to be trying to tell you information that you know better than me, but I just thought it was important to highlight them. When I was choosing what ones to cover for today's being Danielle, it was impossible to mention them all because there's more than one for almost every month, which I wasn't aware of until I looked a bit further into it. So I chose ones that I thought were most relevant, but I also chose a couple that aren't specifically to do with disability, and one in particular I just thought it was important to mention because of lockdown we're all at the moment, and it might be relevant for people to know that there's actually a day for this kind of celebration that we can really relate to lockdown. And the last point there was the Stamp Out the Gap campaign, which I'll talk specifically about towards the end. And this campaign is specifically around adults with cerebral palsy, and it's something that's innovative and it's relevant because it's being will be presented to the government later this year. So I thought it was important to highlight that. If Keith will move on to the next slide, I'll start speaking about autism awareness. Now I know this is a subject that a lot of you watching will know far more than I do, because I know that a lot of you guys connected to Think Control either live with autism yourself or have loved ones who live with the condition. So you will know far more than I do, but I just wanted to highlight some key points around the awareness campaign attached to this condition. So autism awareness campaign was brought to light because the aim of it was to stop people with autism constantly feeling like they were misunderstood and that there was a lack of awareness, and it was hoped by highlighting this campaign that it would help autistic people flourish and make others recognise that there's a need to support autistic people to flourish. And I think there's some good examples of that within society, whether that be in employment and various things like that. But with everything, I think there's still a long way to go. So from my personal view, I think this awareness campaign, as with all the awareness campaigns I'm going to speak about, but it definitely has its place and it's really beneficial, and it really should be supported and highlighted more for this particular group and the families and other people who work with them. The past year has brought challenges for autistic people as it has for us all, but I think when I was looking at some of the information, it was they were giving examples like, again, more some of you will have more understanding of this than me, but some of the examples were saying, like, obviously because it's been a massive change to what we knew before, and this can be quite a challenge for some autistic people at the best of times. So the last year has been so unpredictable. It has been a real challenge for autistic people and their families. But there has been a few positives. But 9 in 10 people were worried about their mental health during the first lockdown, and 85% said that the anxiety levels got worse. And I think that's just something that society and other people within society need to be mindful of as we move through lockdown and move out of it, hopefully. I also looked into some of the work that has been going on around the UK in relation to autism. So in Scotland, you'll see there that there's been a new campaign launched that is entitled Our Voice, Our Rights, and this particular campaign calls for a commissioner to be put in place to improve access to support and champion the human rights of autistic people and people with learning disabilities. But I also looked further afield just to get a better understanding of what's going on UK wide. And in Wales, they have an Autism Act, which was implemented to improve the rights of autistic people, and ideally they would want this to be implemented throughout the UK. In England, there's specific focus around improving the treatment of autistic people in mental health hospitals. So I think these examples show that it's not just Scotland that autism awareness is being highlighted and recognised, but positively, there has been work done throughout the UK, and I would say that is a positive step. But again, it's campaigns like this that will improve things for autistic people. So it would be great if we could support it and spread the word and raise awareness. And the last point I had on this slide was autistic people are more likely to be excluded from school, and more than 80% of autistic people have experienced mental health issues. And the reason for including that point was to say that it emphasises the relevance between the work being done specifically in England to improve the treatment of autistic people in mental health hospitals in England, but also of how much it relates to any of the campaigns that are happening throughout the UK. If Keith would move on to the next slide, thanks Keith. This one I just thought was quite unusual, shall we say, to mention. And this is one of the examples that's not specifically related to disability. And it actually, when I came across it, it actually made me smile, because I thought we could all be doing with a World Party Day when lockdown is over, but that's just a thought for us to hold on to for when restrictions allow. Apparently, World Party Day has already been and would have been on Saturday, just gone, yeah, so part of the Easter weekend. But this celebration is an unofficial holiday that aims to achieve social change and for people to celebrate life by partying. It sounds like a good celebration to me. And it can also be referred to as P Day. When I looked in to see the history around the World Party Day, apparently became a thing due to a quantum fiction novel in 1995 written by Vanna Fontana. I haven't read the novel myself, and to be honest, didn't know it existed until I started looking into this for being Danielle. But apparently the novel ends with a big party, and this is where the concept of World Party Day came from. It's I've maybe some of you watching will know about this, but I haven't heard of it being a thing that's celebrated up here in Scotland. But apparently it's celebrated in England and other corners of the world, so Africa, Italy, China, Korea, Vietnam, India, and Thailand. These are just some examples of the countries who do have World Party Day celebrations. And who knows, I'm just putting it out there, maybe this can become a thing after lockdown in Scotland, or at least more widely in the UK. Who knows? And it's a non-religious festival, so it's a universal human right event for fun, peace, and to celebrate life. The only requirement is that you celebrate and party from any place, whether it's large, small, or you can do it alone. So it could be a party for one, I guess, for anybody that's perhaps in self-isolation at the minute. It could be a way of surviving that time period. Who knows? But I just thought that was quite random and something that would give a different view to awareness days that are on our calendar. Next one is World Voice Day. So that's coming up on I think it's the 16th and 17th of April. And sorry, I should have said that Autism Awareness Week was last week, so from the 29th of March to the 4th of April, I think, so it would have ended on Sunday. So that has already been for this year. World Voice Day, which is the next one I'm going to speak about, that is coming up later this month on the 16th and 17th of April. Again, I didn't know what this Awareness Day was until I started researching awareness days that is on our calendar, some of which are more known than others. Again, the World Voice Day isn't specifically for people with disabilities. It's for everyone to raise awareness that all people should have a voice, and that it should be basically part of daily life for everybody. And this Awareness Day recognises the importance of this, and I just thought it was really important to include, because it can relate to people with disabilities, and the fact that sometimes we don't have a voice, and sometimes we need help to get our voices heard, which is a lot of the work that In Control Scotland and myself as Europe's understood do. But I didn't actually know there was a specific day to celebrate the fact that all people should have a voice. When I looked into it a bit further, specifically there was a day of 2 days actually, and later in the month, the 16th and 17th, where the British Voice Association are holding a free event, and they have some speakers going along to that. And it's a free online event, and it's called The Secrets of the Spoken Voice. I've included the link there on the slide, but if any of you are interested in attending, you can either contact In Control Scotland or myself, and I will be happy to email you the link. The British Voice Association are committed to providing a multidisciplinary education sort of programme and encouraging voice research, but specifically they are involved with supporting people with voice problems by providing information and advice, and also making sure they have their voices heard. So yeah, I just thought that was really a really important one to mention, and because it's not specifically to do with disability, but at the same time promotes inclusion for all. So if Keith could go on to the next one. The next one is Cerebral Palsy Awareness. Now some of you might remember that back in October, I did an episode of Being Danielle specifically around Cerebral Palsy Awareness on World Cerebral Palsy Day, which is the 6th of October. And again, lots of you watching may either have CP yourself or have a loved one that lives with the condition. So again, you know a lot around this area and around this disability. But for anyone watching who doesn't, Cerebral Palsy Awareness serves as a platform to educate individuals who are living with the condition and to encourage them to become allies in the cerebral palsy community. The primary goal for National Cerebral Palsy Awareness Month, which was last month in March, is to push for more inclusion around education, employment and healthcare. As I said, the Awareness Month was last month, and World Cerebral Palsy Day is on the 6th of October. Approximately 18 million people in the UK live with worldwide live with cerebral palsy. It is estimated that 1 in 400 babies in the UK have a type of cerebral palsy. Others, it is often a misguided sympathy. It's often the case that people have misguided sympathy towards people with cerebral palsy, and as an adult who lives with cerebral palsy, I can say to you that I've experienced this and still do, as I'm sure many of you watching would agree that this is often the case. But not just with cerebral palsy, with any disability, it's assumed that because you use a wheelchair or use mobility equipment that you automatically aren't capable of doing the things that other people take for granted, which isn't the case. And the fact that I'm sitting here having this conversation or presenting this to you now proves it. And cerebral palsy is not one single disorder. There are several different classifications and varying degrees of the condition. I'm sure many of you watching will agree that no two people with CP are the same. And again, that could be said for any disability because no two people are the same, and if that was the case, the world would be a very boring place. But that leads me quite nicely to talking to you about this Stamp the Gap campaign. Now, I had the opportunity about 2 weeks ago now to speak to the charity who are leading this campaign, and it's the Adult CP Hub. They are hashtag Stamp Out the Gap is a hashtag. If you look on Facebook or in any social media, you'll be able to find it. And the leader of the charity, or the founder of the charity, rather, Emma Livingston, she has CP herself. And so again, the campaign has been set up with lived experience in mind. They have the purpose of the campaign is to look at healthcare parity for adults living with CP, as there seems to be a major gap in this. they have used postage stamps to emphasise the point that adults with CP are often treated like second-class citizens when it comes to healthcare. Within these stamps, we've got some famous faces that you might recognise, who actually live with CP. A couple, as I say, you might recognise. So, so we have Rosie Jones, the comedian, and we have Lost Voice Guy, who's the winner of Britain's Got Talent. We have James Moore, who, if you're a soap fan, you'll recognise from Emmerdale. We have Paralympian David Smith, who plays Bosher, and we have Tegan Vincent Cook, who is a dressage rider, and as I found out, she's also got a YouTube channel and other social media channels. So if you want to show your support for this campaign, there is a petition you can sign. Again, I've shared the link to this, but again, you can contact Keith at In Control Scotland or myself, and I'm happy to send you a link to this to be able to sign it and show your support. The Adult CP Hub are hoping to have 100,000 signatures by World Cerebral Palsy Day, by which point they intend to present it to Matt Hancock on the back of a postage stamp to again reiterate the point that adults with CP often feel that they're treated as second-class citizens. So if you would take the time out to sign that petition, that would be great, and I'm sure this Adult for CP Hub would really appreciate that. That brings me to the end of today's Tuesday Talks and being Danielle, but it's been great to talk to you guys again. If anybody watching live has any questions, that's great, or comments, it'd be really great to hear them or answer them. If you're watching back and you find you have a question or comment, hi Craig, thanks for watching. Alistair, I'm just reading your comment so I can decide of an answer. How do I feel we can join up different awarenesses so we can support each other and share the learning? I don't necessarily think there's a right answer to that. What I would say is that there's too many on the calendar to join up every single one of them. But I think what we need is more people with lived experience who are able to raise awareness. And I don't necessarily mean just people that communicate verbally, because I think it's important to acknowledge that even people who communicate in other ways can help raise awareness of conditions that they live with. So I think that would be my most important thought at this stage. Thanks for watching, Michael. It's good that you've been able to join today. But as I say, it's been really good to be with you all again, and I look forward to seeing you again next month for the next Being Danielle. Hi, Keith.
Hi, Danielle. Yeah, thanks for that. World Party Day, that sounds very interesting, doesn't it?
Yeah, that was a good one. I thought I'd be well into.
Yeah. Well, we just missed it. I mean, I would have had an extra biscuit on Saturday, maybe. Yeah.
We should make another one for once we come out.
Oh, yeah, we'll have to do a special one, won't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, Scotland Party Day. Okay, and you'll be back the first Tuesday of next month. With what will be May's Tuesday talk, won't it? So it'll be be Tuesday the 3rd, just after I think it's Tuesday the 3rd, isn't it? Just after the bank holiday.
Yeah, that's right,
Yeah. Okay. There's one more thing you're going to tell us about, Danielle. You've got a bit of exciting news that you're going to share with everybody at the end of today's Tuesday talk.
Some of you might have already seen it on social media, but yesterday, you, or your options understood, and I launched an e-shop which has a range of products that people can purchase to help raise awareness and get use message out there. It's got my own all-important tagline of "What do I know? I only love it." And any funding or any purchases that come back to your option of the through the shop will be used to help me carry on your option of the work and to help continue to support people have their own voice and to help support organisations to be fully inclusive.
And the best way to get to your site, Danielle?
The shop is embedded on my website, so if you go to the More tab within the homepage of the website, the link to the shop can be found there, and you can find all my exciting products, but hopefully there'll be some there to suit everyone.
Okay, and you're quite keen to get feedback as well from people, aren't you?
Any feedback at all about existing products or any future products, what people would like to see, that would be great.
Okay, you got more comments coming in as well now.
Thank you, Michael.
Okay, thanks, Danielle. Thank you for this month's Tuesday talk. Tuesday talks will be back next week with Michael McEwen, but you'll be back, as we said, on the first Tuesday of May, which will be Tuesday the 3rd of May. Thanks, Danielle.
No problem.